Welcome back to Inflammation Highway. If you're new here, my name is Bobby. Today I want to talk about something that had a surprisingly meaningful impact on my life. Lactobacillus reuteri. More specifically, how consuming a coconut kefir product that listed Lactobacillus reuteri among its cultures affected me in ways I didn't expect. Quick note before we begin. This content is shared for educational purposes and personal experience only. It is not medical advice. Everyone's body, health history, and circumstances are different. Please move slowly, listen to your body, and work with qualified healthcare professionals when appropriate. This video reflects my own experience and curiosity, not instructions or promises. Why this mattered to me. I spent most of my life dealing with chronic illness and inflammation. But what often gets overlooked is what comes alongside that. Chronic anxiety, nervous system tension, and PTSD-related social anxiety. For years, my baseline felt like constant alertness, not because I wanted to be guarded, but because my nervous system never felt fully safe. Over time, through fasting, lifestyle changes, mindfulness, and consistency, things began to improve. And along the way, I noticed something important. When my gut was calm, I was calmer. Not emotionally calmer, neurologically calmer. That observation changed how I approach healing. Why I started paying attention to gut health. I didn't get into gut health because it was popular. I started noticing patterns. Digestive distress often came with mental agitation. Gut tension often came with social withdrawal. Calm digestion often came with emotional ease. That led me to learning about the gut-brain axis, the ongoing communication between the gut, immune system, hormones, and the nervous system. Eventually, that curiosity led me to Lactobacillus reuteri. What Lactobacillus reuteri is, carefully stated. Lactobacillus reuteri is a well-studied probiotic strain. It has been identified in humans historically and is also used today in some probiotic foods and supplements. At the same time, microbiomes vary significantly between individuals, cultures, and lifestyles. There is no single ideal gut profile for everyone. Researchers have shown interest in specific strains of Lactobacillus reuteri because of how they may interact with immune signaling, inflammation-related pathways, and the gut barrier function. There is also early and emerging research exploring how gut microbes may influence the nervous system through the gut-brain axis. This doesn't make it a cure. It doesn't make it universal. It makes it interesting. Why I chose coconut kefir. I didn't want aggressive protocols or capsules. I chose a coconut kefir product that listed Lactobacillus reuteri among its cultures because it felt food-based, gentle, and slow. That mattered to me. For me, healing has worked best when my nervous system doesn't feel pushed. I approached this as an experiment, paying attention without expecting outcomes. What I noticed over time. Over time, something unexpected happened. I noticed that I became more approachable, more comfortable speaking, and more willing to engage socially. That mattered because my baseline for much of my life included social anxiety tied to PTSD. I wasn't avoiding people by choice. My nervous system simply didn't feel regulated. Alongside that, something else shifted. My general stomach anxiety eased. That constant low-grade feeling that something was always wrong softened. These weren't dramatic overnight changes. They were subtle, they were steady, and they changed how I moved through the world. The dog story, with care. I have a rescued dog who lived on the streets as a stray. His gut health reflected that: digestive issues, stress-related symptoms, and a constant survival mode demeanor. With care, in small amounts, with the understanding that this does not replace veterinary care, I introduced the same coconut kefir into his routine. Over time, his digestion stabilized and his demeanor softened. Watching that happen reinforced something important to me. The gut and the nervous system are deeply connected, even across species. If you're ever considering dietary changes for a pet, especially one with health issues, consulting a veterinarian is always the right step. Important clarity. This experience does not mean Lactobacillus reuteri will affect everyone the same way. Bodies differ, histories differ, microbiomes differ. Probiotics are generally well tolerated in healthy individuals, but they're not appropriate for everyone, especially those who are severely ill or immunocompromised. This also does not replace mental health care or trauma-informed support. For me, this was one supportive factor among many, but it reminded me of something important. Healing doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it shows up as ease, sometimes as confidence returning, sometimes as the nervous system finally exhaling. Gratitude and family impact. I don't take these changes lightly. Being more present and less anxious affects my family, my children, and how I show up in the world. These are not small things. They're foundational, and I am deeply grateful. Closing. If you're exploring gut health inflammation or the gut-brain connection, my encouragement is simple. Move slowly, stay curious, listen to your body, and involve qualified professionals when appropriate. Healing doesn't have to be extreme to be profound. If this resonated, consider subscribing. This channel is about walking the road together, honestly and with intention. I'll see you on the highway.